Hi Takumi. So this is the basic demonstration on how the API dashboard works with ptaffy. So I will demonstrate the post and the get. The get is very simple. So the API key that you requested, you can get the API key right here, which will dictate what database to use and what the API key is. So you would type in API key in here as a query string parameter and paste in the API key, and then you can get a specific ID for the property. So 3417 is set right now. If I don't have API key, let me remove that for now and send a request. If you scroll down, you get the 401 error, which makes sense. If you do have API key and the API key is wrong and send a request, you still get the 401 error. But if you get the API correct and you send a request, as you see, you get the result for that property. So any property can be called here depending on what the ID of the property is. So that's the simple one, properties ID. So that's the one that will get the property details. Um, the post one works very similar. So this one, for instance, is requiring you to input the count. This could be used for like featured properties or sold properties, whatever you want to display. So in this case, you would put the number of featured properties, for instance, and it would say 5, and then any parameters would have to be passed through the post. So API key is the main required one. So we get that from here. Once again, I'm gonna take that, paste it in, and send it. And then you can see that it returns the JSON with 5 different properties. I will clean this up to get only the um, main elements, so we're not getting all the useless data. And then here you will be able to see what is required and what is being passed. And you have your defaults and hints. All of those are defined in each component um, for the API. So that's pretty much it. Let me just show you real quickly on how um, the CFCs work. So the way it works, everything is in resources. The only components that you need to deal with, everything else is predefined already. Application CFC will contain all your defaults. This is where I'm defining which data source to use. And this is the decryption for the API key. And here is the API checking. Sorry, the API key checking. I think that's what I said. I'm not sure. So it verifies that the API key is correct and then returns the data, or it doesn't return the data. And once again, resources is the only one that you will have to deal with if you ever need to make any changes. So I sorted everything by the table here. So if you want to change something within properties, you will go to properties. If you need something from agents, you go to agents. And it's labeled in a way that you can see it here. So properties random, properties details, properties search. So in here you would go to properties, search, and then within the search you can make any changes necessary if there are any changes. Um, so the way it works, you get the arguments here, and then you get the query, and the return is the representation of, and it will always return JSON.